What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time NBA edition. It's, in my feeling, the best of all the Crunch Times, but that's just because I love the sport. And we are joined by one Mr. Andy Means. Means we got another freebie, kind of a last-minute freebie going out to the people. What's up, man?
Yeah, we were a little unsure what the plan was from up the ladder on this week, and we got word that the people have spoken, Roth. They want more Crunch Times, so we're going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and get us some more practice for the regular season.
Yeah, and you give the people what they want, Means.
The goods.
You give them the goods. You got to give them the goods. Speaking of the goods, we had someone reach out after yesterday's show. Was it, Saturday's show?
Yeah, Saturday's show, yeah.
And said, hey, I banked. Shout out to RotoGrinders. Shout out to Andy Means and Kevin Roth. I always feel nice when I get the shout outs, even though I contributed very little.
Well, we also got the prototypical once per year at the start of the year when we tweet out that Ross on NBA Crunch Time. Why is Roth doing NBA shows? every single season.
Yeah,
someone says it.
I just saw that, and it always makes me laugh. There's a couple reasons why. First, I'm the host. I literally just say, hey, Meansy, what do you think here? And then he says smart things. And then I say, what do you think? And then I take your questions. Then he answers them. I literally have very little to do with the content. I'm just the host of the show. Also, I freaking love basketball. Like, it is what I do. It is what I watch. It is my passion. So I feel qualified to host a show about it. Like,
I think you do an exquisite job hosting. So let's leave it at that and we'll go on.
Yeah, I feel better.
Because we do have some news already. We do have some news.
Oh,
just a little bit. It was relevant to what I was going to talk about.
Let's do it.
Because Steven Adams was questionable, and they say he will give it a go. So he's starting, and Josh Hart is starting, along with Zion, Lonzo, and Ingram. So it's good to have that information because we will be talking about a lot of Pelicans tonight, Mr. Roth.
Okay, and tonight, the last couple nights we've been going game by game, which is not what we normally do. I don't like it. So we're going back to what we usually do, which is position by position, which I think it helps the people. And that's what we're here for, Means.
Yeah. So I'm going to give just some overarching thoughts real quick. And I'm going to touch on Fanduel real quick because it's way different since salary doesn't matter. Then we'll talk DraftKings. So
while you do that, I'm going to drink more beers because prior to getting scheduled on the show, I had scheduled, I'm getting drunk tonight. So now those schedules are, kind of interweaving a bit. So you talk about that. I'm going to drink a little beer.
Okay. Cheers to you. I'm having water tonight. All right. So just spots we're going to like in general. New Orleans, obviously, as I run the article today for those of you who are watching your premium. Van Gundy came out and said he's planning on playing no more than 10 guys and hopes to play his regular 30 minutes. So like if you're defaulting to stuff, you can always, or like get in a pinch, you can always come back to New Orleans and feel good about it. So that's the best spot for sure. Milwaukee, Bud actually just came out and said he's going to play this guy similar minutes. So just real quick, I'll pull up this, as you can see, this ESPN share screen. Here's the box score. So like Giannis. Yep, go ahead.
Similar minutes to what they did last time, or similar minutes to what the other coach just said, which was 30 minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Similar to what they did in their last game. Yep. Good clarification. So Giannis 25, Middleton 25. Those are the main ones we really care about. I'm sure Drew will get up there a little bit. So just looking at that. And then Memphis, I think they're going to probably see those guys tick up a little bit. We have them like in the mid to high 20s. Minnesota probably a little bit of the same. So those are like just overarching some good spots to look at. FanDuel, real quick. It's just kind of silly the way they have it. Like if you just obviously got to play two at each position except for center. Like if you look at our projections, we have Lonzo and Ja like clearly ahead at point guard, shooting guard, Luka at 22. I'm thinking about taking Luka up to 24. If you look at what they did in their rotations in that first game, they basically played 8 minutes a quarter, and they shut him down at halftime. So they played 60 minutes. I bet he plays 8 minutes in the third quarter would be my guess. So I'm personally probably going to take him up to 24. And that puts him, like I just put him up at DraftKings, that puts him, a little closer to Giannis there in overall projections. That's what I'm probably going to do. But back to FanDuel real quick. I guess I can put him up to 24 here on FanDuel too. That he's clearly going to be the top play there. We still haven't got any word exactly I'm assuming those guys are going to play too. That's again, I'm operating under the assumption they're all playing and kind of guessing what the minutes will be. I'm guessing if Bud just stopped a little bit ago, we'll probably hear some stuff from Dallas here as well soon. And then, you're probably looking at one of these guys. I mean, at least shooting guard has options, like point guard didn't. So small forward real quick. Giannis for sure. And then Ingram. Like, it's just silly to really talk about too much because the plays are just so obvious. I mean, obviously that leaves you places to be different in tournaments. Zion's 15 points ahead of the next closest guy at power forward. It's not easy after that. Our projections prefer Silva. And then center is another position that is at least somewhat competitive. So that's what FanDuel looks like. It's just way different when you're talking about a pick 'em. So let's just go over DraftKings. You cool with that?
Yeah, forget all that. Let's talk about that's nonsense. Let's talk about DK. Honestly, I was not going to play tonight, and I can just tell by the way you're talking about the first few games, you are on it.
I'm always on it.
You're always on it, but now we have an idea of what's actually going to happen. Whereas the first,
because I'm hydrating and not drinking alcohol this time.
The first couple games, it was just kind of like, well, we don't really know. But now we have things to go off of.
It is true.
I feel like there's an edge. Now I have entered, and now I'm doing the thing where like slightly off screen, I'm like plugging in.
It's like when you're doing radar for baseball, we see you going like this on your phone.
Yeah. So I'm gonna plug in some guys because I feel good about it. So let's start at point guard and kind of run through it.
All right. So there was a 2v2 I was looking at earlier pre the Steven Adams news, and it was like Luka or Ja Morant and Jackson Hayes and Chris Silva, like a point guard center type thing. And because I thought Jackson Hayes would have been a really good play if Adams was out. So we don't get that. He's still fine, but Adams just introduces another big in the rotation. We'll get to that, obviously. So I think you can get Luka pretty easily. Or not, I mean, you can get everyone if you want. There's going to be plenty of salary plays on DK that you can get him if you want. You for sure want to prioritize Giannis just because he played more minutes in that game on Saturday, and we know Bud just came out and said we want to keep him kind of the same spot. We're assuming that with Luka. And Giannis is the better per minute guy anyways. So
Giannis is the best per minute guy in the NBA, and we think he's going to get more minutes than most guys will tonight. That just seems
like comparatively speaking, like if you just look at the projections in general, he's basically 5.5 points higher than anybody else. So he's easy to get. Luka at point guard is gettable. I will say that. Ja Morant is expensive, but I also think you could see him play 30 minutes tonight. We have him at 27. I'm guessing Memphis guys are going to go up a little bit. Lonzo is the other one here. He's a Pelican. He's one of their main guys that are active tonight. Bledsoe's out, Redick's out, and we have the information from Van Gundy. So he's one of the better ones to play. I'll talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker a little more at shooting guard, where the position's a little thinner, and then Javon Carter too. I mean, I guess I might as well talk about these guys right now, just because they're two of our three best point per dollar plays on the slate. And why I see Zion right there, I'm going to go ahead and lock button him right there because he should be in everyone's lineup. So back to these two cheapies. So Alexander Walker will probably come off the bench, but he'll probably play some 1, some 2, and he's a good per minute guy. And like we said, Stan wants to play 10 guys, and that's plenty right there that we need to know. Carter I'm a little uncertain on if he's going to see as many minutes as last game. Like, he played 30 minutes last game, I think, and Cameron Payne started. But Cameron Payne's out, and he played 30 minutes also. But CP3 is playing tonight. But I think we have him at like 16 maybe. Where do we have CP3 at? We have CP3 at 18. So they just don't have many ball handlers. It's CP3. It's Carter, maybe Langston Galloway. They just don't have much. Like, Booker can obviously handle. I don't think they want to tax him with that too much in the preseason. So that's why Carter's going to project so well per dollar, because we have him with a decently high minutes amount, and he's cheap, and that matters. When you get 28 minutes on a preseason slate, you can be pretty crappy per minute, which he's above crappy, but not anywhere good. But that matters. So that's why we have him popping. I like him as a salary play. None I really like in tournaments. 5,100. So the Heat, we'll just talk about them real quick. So the Heat, Spo said he's not planning on playing guys a lot, his main guys. So just real quick looking, we have a bunch of dudes projected for minutes here. And it's all spread out, as you can see, like from basically low end 5 to high end 24, but several guys. Nunn is one of their young guys, and he's a guy who's literally fighting for a spot in the rotation now. He started basically every game last year pre-bubble. Then he was only in the rotation in playoff games because guys got hurt. So he's got a lot to prove. I think they probably want to boost his trade value a little bit if they're going to enter these hardened sweepstakes. So I would be looking at him a lot in tournaments. You could see him play high 20s minutes, and if he's out there with lower level guys, he could produce. So that's point guard for the most part. Shooting guard is a lot of guys I already talked about. Yeah, go ahead.
We do have a question on that already, so I do want to get to that in the YouTube chat. Rhyme Life Music, I also like rhyming life and music, says on FanDuel, I'm having the damnedest time with Lonzo versus Nunn. These are two guys you mentioned.
Okay, versus Nunn, I would still pretty heavily prefer Lonzo.
Okay.
Even he's probably going to be really highly owned too. I have a hard time seeing Nunn outscoring him. I mean, it obviously is in the range of outcomes, but I don't know if he's just making, if you're just making one lineup, honestly, I think he can be different elsewhere. Like I would just play those two guys.
Okay.
I think you can be different at center. You can be different at shooting guard. I don't think you need to take that kind of risk on FanDuel where the salary doesn't matter. Good question. Though.
Yep. Okay. On to shooting guard.
Yeah. So shooting guard, mostly my builds have been looking at those cheap guys I just talked about, Alexander Walker and Carter. They both have the shooting guard eligibility. If you're looking for tournament pivots, because I think it would be a good idea to spend up here for basically these three guys we have at the top, because I do think people can get Giannis so easily. They're going to pay up for these Pelicans. So I think he can be different here. Russell, I don't mind targeting these good Minnesota guys, him and Cat. Most likely they're going to be far lower owned than a lot of the other expensive guys. So I like those guys.
What's your minutes expectations on them?
We have them in like the mid 20s. If you look, I'll be looking at this other one, the game from Saturday real quick. I hate dilly-dallying around here like this. I think they were like low 20s, if I recall correctly, on Saturday. So that's just, Cat was 22, Russell was 23. So that's giving them a couple extra.
And
so that's what you think.
Gradually ramping up, right?
Yeah, that's the assumption. And like we talked about before, they need to do this. They need the reps. They need to get out there on the court with each other. They haven't played in a while, before Saturday. So if you see them go mid to high 20s minutes, I think those guys are good. They're good fantasy players. So I would be looking at Russell probably over this group. I think there's more pass up on his minutes. Devin Booker, less or so, just because Monty's he just seems overall his idea of the preseason is not to like overtax his guys. And that's a small piece of information, but it's information. And so that just factors into my thinking a little bit. That's why I'd go Russell. All these other guys, I don't have a really good affinity for anybody, to be honest. Maybe Clarkson, 5,200. If you're kind of looking in between that mix, the high guys and the cheap guys I talked about, Clarkson would be my choice. I think he was the highest guy on the Jazz on Saturday, but only at low 20s. So if they go up like this a little bit there too, they seem to be less concerned about his minutes of their main guys. So I'd say Clarkson would be there. You go me moving over to small forward.
Yeah.
All right, so small forward. This is where we kind of get into the Pelicans, their main guys. So like Ingram and Zion are, if I was doing core play tags like I usually do, I didn't remember see who we had.
Zion is power forward.
Yeah, I already locked him from. I was looking to see who we have. We have three Pelicans tagged as our collaboration core plays here. If I was doing it, I would probably have these two guys for sure. And like I just showed, we have two of the. I don't know what I'm looking at. Sorry. So anyway, sorry, got distracted there. So Ingram is my choice at small forward here. Middleton, with the confirmation from Bud that they're going to play similar minutes, I think he's fine too. He pops up in a lot of my builds at like the forward or the utility spot too, just because kind of like we talked about, I think it was Saturday where we just he was there as you get to your last spot or two. So I'm good there. Trying to see, Hart is another Pelican. Like he's starting tonight too, so he's landed up in a bunch of my builds. Anthony Edwards, he was the guy of those Timberwolves who played the most minutes of anybody. I think he was at 26. They're obviously trying to get him as many reps as possible. So I would be fine there. Cheap guys, not really thrilled with any. Okay, KZ Okpala, So he's a Heat guy. The Heat guys are just hard to determine. We'll talk about Silva in a second at center. But with them, if we're anticipating their main guys not playing a lot at all, like Spo's been just preaching youth in preseason, and those minutes have to go somewhere. I'm more prone to play Silva just because I know he is really good per minute. Paul has played like 26 minutes in the NBA total, and he hasn't been nearly as productive on a per minute basis. So we know about Silva, less so on Paula, but he could also play more minutes. So he would be a guy to be looking at small forward, maybe Beasley here, Conchar. Those are good tournament plays, but not someone I'm considering for my main lineup personally. Yeah, power forward, Zion.
Is Ingram.
What's that?
Your main lineup is just Ingram, right?
Yeah, the Pelicans, they're just good to start out with these two guys. To be quite honest, it's just the easy way to go. And there's good 4K play guys, and we can still fit Giannis too. So, so power forward is Zion. This is really, and I mean, Giannis has center eligibility too, but you can like the best three of the best plays on the slate all have forward eligibility. So Zion, Giannis, and Ingram. I'm gonna put him here and go like that. Like that's a great start to your build, just like that.
So I'm trying to think that there's a good center coming.
There is. There at least one that, and I alluded to him, but we'll talk about him in a second. Another Heat guy that I didn't mention in the Okpala thing, but Precious, I don't know how to say his name, but his first name is Precious. I don't know how to say his last name, but his first name is Precious. He's their first round draft pick. Yes, that's close. I'm sure. These guys, they're kind of light in the front court. If like you think of their front court guys, they're Bam, Olynyk, Myers Leonard, Udonis Haslem. Those are guys that suppose just not going to want to extend. Maybe Myers Leonard, we'll see. But these are all front court guys that need to get minutes. So that's why I'll throw his name in there. But I think you're mostly spending up at these forward spots, unless we talked about Josh Hart at small forward. But that's largely what I'm looking at. I do like PJ Washington a little bit here. Gordon Hayward. Hornets guys, Borrego came out and said he's going to play his main guys 22 to 25 minutes. That's up from the 20 we saw on Saturday. And we have that, see we have Hayward here at 24. So that's largely what I'm looking at here at power forward. And then let's get to center real quick.
Yep.
So
and
obviously
actually,
you can play.
Now that I think about it, you said real quick, we still have 12 minutes. We do always open it up to questions. We probably don't have the amount of questions that we normally do. So take your time with center.
Okay. I was kind of speeding through. Yeah.
Yeah, you were really like at a pace as if this was a normal crunch time show. This is preseason and Monday Night Football is on. So there might be like 12 people watching. I have no idea.
That's a good point. It is Monday Night Football time. But it's free, so I don't know. Maybe we got some bunch of YouTube people watching.
Yeah.
All right, so the center guy is Chris Silva. And that's just because, like I said, he's really good per minute. I think he was well above a DK point per minute in like 300 some minutes last year. And since I've been talking about it, I'll just go back and kind of look again at their front court. So Silva, talked about Precious, Bam, we have at 14 minutes. Then you just look at these guys, Olynyk, Vet. I mean, Harkless is playing at the 4, so that eats up some of their front court minutes. But then like all these other guys are wings and guards, except for like this Exhibit 10 contract guy who they say they have a bunch of guys that are competing for like one spot. I'd still be shocked if like Spo gives these guys who they know are not going to make their roster like a ton of time, but he's a power forward. And then Udonis is basically like a legacy roster spot at this point. Like I can't imagine they're going to play him much short of like honoring him or something. I don't know. He's like 48 years old. It really is. It's just really strange. He just doesn't ever play. So, that's why we have Silva popping, because he is good per minute and we have him at 20 minutes. So there's at a certain point, there's not more much to say. Yeah. That's why our projections like him. And I agree. And he's in my lineup because you put him in there and you still have like 5,700. We talked about a couple other 4K guys. We talked about, Hart, and there's plenty of places to go. That's kind of what my build's starting out looking like.
Okay. I was trying to follow that and build a team, and I was like, wow, I nailed it. And then I realized I missed Luka. I thought I had everything I wanted. I don't have Luka in my builds.
If you want Luka, I would take out, I'm guessing as you've been going through, I would take out Lonzo.
Yeah, that was I'm not taking Luka. Lonzo. I would rather have Lonzo than Luka personally, which is why.
Can we get that clipped? That's it. That's it. Nothing fantasy related.
No. Purely as a preseason decision. That's my boy. Luke is my dude. Yeah. All right. So I feel good about what we've given the people, but we still have 9-10 minutes. We like to take some questions. We like to open it up. We like to help out as much as we can, right?
Yes, let's take some questions.
That's what we do. Also, by the way, if you think that this is a good format, the fact that he literally goes through every position and tells you what the best plays are for both cash and tournaments, and then we take your questions. If you think, wow, that's incredibly useful, I would love to do that every single night, then you should sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. You can actually do it sport by sport now. So if you just want basketball, that's cool. You can also sign up for all the sports so you can get basketball and NFL together. You should do that. All right, so we're going to take some of those questions now, and we will start with Duck. Best $4,000 forward on DK.
So I'm guessing he means that is the stone minimum. So it sounds like he specified 4,000. Let's just look at projections here. I'll lean on them here. If I'm playing like a cash game, I would probably go Conchar. If I'm playing a tournament, I would probably go Okpala. Two guys I talked a little bit more about Okpala, but I briefly mentioned Conchar. But yeah, I'd go Conchar like in an optimal type of build, and I'd go Okpala in a tournament build.
All right. Gophers fan says, wow, Roth, the 12 listeners is down to 8 after takes like that. Good thing. Good. All right. Lowry says, you want Javon Carter or Flynn?
Malachi Flynn, the Raptors rookie. That's tough for me because both guys played a decent amount on Saturday. I would for sure. I think that Carter will be higher owned just because everyone's going to see those minutes. Everyone's going to see Campaign is out tonight, and everyone's probably going to go to him. So I would play Malachi over Carter in tournaments. I would play Carter in cash games.
Great. All right. We'll go to Blinky. Washington or Silva, last spot in GPPs.
I'm seeing Devin drop another question here. This might be a Fanduel question. What was it? Ask it again. Washington or what?
Silva, last spot.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I would. It's so tough for me to say without projected ownership. I would go Silva and just hope that not many people are going to play him. I want to take this question, another Fanduel question. It looks like it's from Steven Nadrouse on the YouTube channel because it's about power forward on FanDuel, and he's asking if it's Bam or a scrub like PJ Washington. I think you should not play Bam because I think since it's a pick 'em, I think more people are going to play Bam than they should, quite honestly. And we have him as the 5th highest projected power forward. So if it's a pick 'em, you don't want the 5th one, you want the 2nd one. So after Zion, of course. So I would not play him just because I think more casuals will play him, and that will inflate his ownership.
Okay, great. Ja or none on FanDuel?
I would for sure play Ja.
All right. Rishi Patel says, would you rather have fingers as long as your legs or legs as long as your fingers? Got to answer it quick.
Not the long fingers. Because I mean, my legs are short.
I think definitely the long fingers. So you get one or the other.
Did I misread?
Fingers or too short of legs.
Would you rather have fingers as long as your legs? Oh, I thought you could like it switched, no, like your legs would go. No. Okay. Oh, I would take the long fingers. I don't want stubs for legs. I thought you meant they alternated.
No. Yeah, but that's the answer. It's still you want the super long fingers.
Roth, for those of you who haven't been around, Roth will throw one of those in like once a week, and I totally fall.
That was it. That was it. That's what the people wanted to know. Means that was the question. BHB says DiVincenzo or Carter in cash on DK.
That's actually probably a closer call than our projections are giving it credit for. So we have, I guess, DiVincenzo's $500 more, so that matters. But you know what? Let me just real quick. I want to look. Sorry to pull this back up again because I might do the same thing. Because my lineup right now has a decent amount. I can get DiVincenzo too. I might go him over Carter. That's a good call. I'm kind of close on that. It might be DiVincenzo for me.
So you have some Carter in your lineups now, and you're thinking about pivoting to some DiVincenzo?
Yeah, just because I know DiVincenzo is going to get similar minutes, and I'm not entirely. I don't think we can just assume that Carter is going to get 30 minutes again. So I want to see what he's took. Yeah, I'm close on that one. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think both are fine. So I don't have a strong take. I'm personally leaning towards going to DiVincenzo now that I think about it.
Absolutely allowed to say both are fine. Yeah, both are good.
Yeah, both are fine for sure.
Yeah. Elk Hunter says, how many Pels are too many Pels? And we can do this maybe cash and GPP or just together.
I mean, on a preseason NBA DFS slate, I don't think there aren't too many in cash games just because it's as safe as the situation is you're going to get all however many days we have of this, 9 days or whatever. In tournaments, I would for sure try to keep it down to two of the main three being Lonzo, Zion, and Ingram. I would try to keep it to two of them. Maybe like one or two of the cheapies like Alexander Walker, Hart, Jackson Hayes. So I'd say 4 maybe in tournaments with max as we're in max.
All right.
Ross got a good one. He's chuckling over here.
No. There were some weird ones. Yeah, there were some funny ones. But Pork Pie says, Meansy, DK single entry, Silva Rozier, or PJ Washington and none. Thank you so much.
I would do the first one.
All right. Dylan says Portis or Silva in a DK GPP.
I would do Silva just because I think people might see the Portis box score I'm pretty sure Portis was a slate winner on Saturday, and that's probably going to inflate his ownership. He had like a double and crushed. So I would personally go Silva.
Okay. That's great. By the way, Dylan, we've seen you in the free chat for a long time. It's time to join up. Come on. Go ahead. I want to see you in the Discord next time you ask a question, Dylan. You know it's good stuff. Jason says, any love for Ayton? Jansen, rather. Any love for Ayton?
He's going to have no choice come Saturday. Or come.
That's a good point. This isn't free forever.
Yeah, he's going to have no choice come the second day of the regular season. We'll be free opening night, but then that stuff stops. Right. Yeah. Okay, what was the question?
It was any love for Ayton?
Yeah, I do. He's one of the younger-ish guys, a cornerstone still, but still pretty young. So if you see the minutes tick up a little bit, I think he was in the low 20s on Saturdays, and he's good per minute. He's only in this low 7s. I don't think anyone's going to play him compared to these other guys. So definitely like him in tournaments.
All right, means we got less than 2 minutes left.
Now I have to make a Carter DiVincenzo decision.
Yeah, $6,800 at guard.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. Let's see here. At guard, 68. Oh, you're 100 off Lonzo. I'll trust the projections here and go Graham. If there's any way you can get the 100 to Lonzo, I'd do it. But yeah, I'd probably go Devontae Graham. You're eating 700 though.
All right. HC Clip fan says 4,200 or less at shooting guard on DK GPP. And then what are you going to do about that decision you're making?
I don't know. Ask the question again. I'm thinking of that every free second I have. What was the question?
Make your decision. Make your choice first.
I don't. I'm going to go DiVincenzo because you're pressuring me. And then I can blame it on you if it fails.
No, there he is. Because someone in chat also said, Carter DiVincenzo, what's your point? What's your choice? You're going DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Boban, any interest?
Not as much as I would have said on Saturday.
HC Clip fan, 4,200 or less shooting guard on a DK GPP.
4,200 or less. I'd go Carter. Yeah.
All right. 4,700 util GPP. I'm different with 4,700 util GPP.
I would go Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Okay. Excellent. That's probably, by the way, I was giving Dylan a hard time saying he needs to be a subscriber. He is a sub. He subbed last week.
There we go.
He is a sub. He subbed last week. He won all his money. I won all my money back in NFL. I don't know if that.
Is that a shot at us?
No, I think he wasn't a sub. He lost a bunch of money.
Oh, okay.
He became a sub, made a bunch of money, And so, yeah, good job. It's my bad for calling you out. I'm glad to hear it.
I know we have to wrap this up in a second, but Dylan, if you ever tell anybody, tell everyone that you subbed because of our free show like a couple days ago. Don't tell anyone you did it last week. Just tell everyone you did it because of the free shows we had a couple days ago.
Specifically, be like, I was watching Meansy and Kevin.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah, and they were so good. Their charisma, charm, and information was just.
Roth has a haircut. Everybody, everyone give Roth a good some shine for his haircut.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh. Boy, there's a lot of questions. Usually we hang out for a long time, but Devin, we have a show coming on right now. Is that correct? All right. So usually we would hang out, and there was an awesome question from Gophers fan. He said, I'm new to NBA, but not DFS. Any specific tips or general basic education videos you would point to? I would love to talk 10 minutes on this, but we can't. So means, is there something you can point them to, like an education video?
We do have a lot of that stuff on the site. I don't know of any specific one that I can point to you. I would say get on our Discord, become a premium member if you're not already. Get on your Discord and message me, and I'll take care of you.
Gophers fan, he's already on the Discord, so just message Meansy. He will hook you up and help you out. That is what we do. That, if you are not subscribed, that right there is the reason to subscribe. You just get to message Meansy. By the way, every time I do a show with you, I'm so impressed by your depth of knowledge. Just like, it's great. And your ability to articulate that knowledge and make it into useful information is just like.
I appreciate that. I'm impressed by the fact that you have someone come over to cut your haircut at your house like you're an NBA player.
I did. Like, literally, Devin was like, Roth, where are you? I was like, well, I'm getting my hair cut, but it's 2 steps away from where my office is. I'm fancy like that. And look
Roth life.
I feel sexy, man. That's a good.
At least you feel sexy.
Yeah. All right. We should end on that note because Devin's already freaking out. He's got a show to produce in like 2 minutes. So, Meansy, why don't you say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, people. See everybody tomorrow. Same time, same free channel, same clean looking Roth.
That's right. But the free will not always be the same. So go ahead and sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.